Welcome to the Water Guys podcast. My name's Louis Borges. Joining me as always, my good friend, business partner, and co-host who's texting on his cell phone, Mr. Shane McCarthy.
Sorry. Oh, hi.
Welcome to the show, baby.
Oh, hi. Sorry. It's a busy day in the hydrogen world. What can I say?
It always is. And ever since we launched Tech for Health, our days are incredibly busy, answering people's questions, providing free resources, information, and helping them kind of navigate the world of their own personal health and how water and treatments associated with water can benefit. And today we're joined by a friend as well, Oxana Kirsanova. She is the founder and CEO of Sea to Sky Wellness, just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia. So she's going to chat with us today about what she's passionate in and also about all things hydration and fitness. So with that, welcome to the show, Oxana.
Yay! Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you for having me on the podcast today. So I'm really, really excited. I know I'm going to learn a lot. And I always tell Shane, I'm like, can you just be like in a simple language, explain me about the water and hydrogen? Because I'm not the scientist person, it's not my strength. So I can talk about the yoga all day long, but not so much about water and the science.
Yeah, we all have our strengths, and it's a tough one. I always have a tough one kind of bringing it less sciencey and stuff. But I mean, the good thing is about hydrogen is, like I say to everybody, don't believe a word I say, research or look up what I say and make some decisions for yourself, right? And so that you are one of those people that made this decision not only for yourself but for your entire wellness club. I love going in and having the Alcaviva H2 machine there because you're always telling me that your clients and the instructors and everybody is all filling up with their water, and love to hear that. And now you're trying out one of our new products from Tech for Health. You're trying out the tablets for the drinking water and the bathing. So I'm really excited. You got it in there. You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and make myself one as well while we're here.
These are the tablets they're referring to. They are Rejuvenation, which is a high concentration hydrogen producing tablet. You also get a strong dose of ionic magnesium. For those of you unfamiliar with that, it is the most absorbable form of magnesium you can have, over 99% absorption. So there you go. It's doing its thing. A little close up on that. Basically, the tablet is reacting with the water. Now, there's also some other things in here that make this reaction possible, all natural, of course. But what'll happen is you'll get a temporary supersaturation of hydrogen in the water, which will far exceed what scientifically is proven to be possible with normal atmospheric pressure. So to give you an example, when you bubble hydrogen in water, unless it's under pressure, the most you can get scientifically would be 1,600 parts per billion or 1.6 ppm. Having things like that produce more hydrogen than it can escape, you now start to increase that saturation because there's more being produced at the rate that it's not escaping at. So hydrogen immediately starts to diffuse as soon as it's made. But with those tablets, it just keeps making more and more and more. And you can get saturations as high as 12,000 parts per billion with those tablets. Mm-hmm. And it's an affordable way to try hydrogen. A bottle of tablets is $39 Canadian. And it gets you a cheap and effective way to actually experience the hydrogen. Don't buy a $50 bottle on Temu or Amazon because you won't be getting any hydrogen. And in most cases, you could be drinking more chlorine than necessary because it's actually making it. So
there's a lot of those bottles on the market. And, there's a couple of great ones, a few good ones, and a lot of really crappy ones. And Oxana, you've had the Hydro Boost 6000 for for a few months now. How's that been for you?
It is. I travel with it everywhere, it's a lifesaver. Like it really is. I wake up in the morning. It's the first thing I do. I put the filtered water in. I let it, press my button. I wait for 5 minutes and I drink it all the way in. I don't touch anything else in the morning until I am, I had my consumption of my water. So
Love
I
that.
take it everywhere I go. It's traveled with me already to many different countries like Mexico, Costa Rica, US, and
Hydrogen's taking over the world.
I know, right? And it's so easy, and the battery lasts so long. Like my concern was always like, how do I maintain the battery, right? Because sometimes you go into different country with the different, electricity power, but
Yeah,
like I mean,
220 volt and yeah.
exactly, right? Oh no, but that battery lasts forever. So it's definitely one of my favorite items. That's the first thing I pack if I'm on a trip. And now, because here when I'm at the club, which I'm here almost every day from 14 hours a day, I live here pretty much. So I drink alkaline water, and when I'm at my house, I don't have an alkaline filter, so I have my hydrogen water bottle. But now, and funny, right? We're talking about this stuff, right?
Yeah,
You just
that's the
drop
sample
this
pack.
off another day, right? And
Yeah.
something interesting, I'll tell you. So you were here on Tuesday, and I had a one glass, one tablet per glass.
Yep.
And Tuesday is usually very, very hard days for me because Monday is usually full mode, getting into the week, getting everything done and organizing, and then Tuesday starts really early for me. 6 a.m. I'm on the road usually by 6:30. Coming here, I do commute to the club. Come in here and I teach back to back, very high intensity classes in the heat. A lot of sweating, a lot of like I need to make sure that I'm hydrating. So usually by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock on Tuesday, I'm done. So that Tuesday when you were here and I had this one tablet, I came home. So first of all, I was buzzing. I was like, what is happening? And it wasn't like, I did not feel high. It's not like a sugar high, because sugar high, you take it something, then you have the sugar rush and then you crash. It was none of that. I felt like I took like a whole handful of cordyceps mushrooms, functional mushrooms.
Nice. Yeah.
But a very long lasting energy.
Yeah.
I was very well focused. It was just really strange. And so I remember but I didn't really think of that the whole day, right? I mean, I'm busy, doing things, doing running here, running there. And when I got home, when it's time was like to slow down and calm down, I still have that lot of energy. And I'm like, how am I supposed to go to bed? Like, why I am not tired?
Yeah.
So, and I started reflecting on my day, and I'm like, what did I do different? And the only thing that I really did different that day, it was one tablet. So now please tell me, is that really possible? Because
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's your mitochondria is what's happening. So the hydrogen is not only removing toxins from your body, but it's making your body more efficient. And the first thing most people notice is more energy, because their body now isn't dealing with inflammation. It's not dealing with oxidative stress. It's not, apportioning all these resources into just fighting inflammation. When the inflammation is gone, your body goes back to a normal state of balance. You have more energy, more mental clarity. I mean, dementia is oxidation in the brain. So it's the best prevention in the world is to drink antioxidant products. And this being a selective antioxidant, there's no limit. And there's actually some good free radicals in the body that hydrogen doesn't touch. It has this uncanny ability to just remove the bad stuff while leaving the good stuff as well. So that is very common. I noticed the same when I first tried the tablets. And the way that I know it's the tablet is I did what you did. I tried one day, felt the energy. Only thing I could attribute it to was that tablet I took. I didn't take it the next day to see how I would feel. And then I took it again the day after, and I had the energy again. So it was very apparent that on the days I'm having high concentrations of hydrogen, I just feel better. It's like a natural caffeine high without the buzz. It's not the kind of buzz that's going to keep you awake and not let you sleep. It just removes that kind of brain fog and that fatigue that you have. It's just kind of like a refresher midday. And there isn't a day that goes by that I don't have one now, because I really enjoy that feeling and I get a lot more done.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice too, because the majority of people are magnesium deficient, and because these are this ionic magnesium in there, there's like 8 different sub magnesiums that it'll just go into your body and go to wherever it is that your body needs it. So it's helping on multiple levels, one being hydration at a cellular level, and then getting that balance back. It's homeostasis, and that's really what I've loved the most about hydrogen. Is it's not curing anything, it's just allowing your body to do what it's supposed to do. I think we often forget how absolutely powerful beings we are, and how amazing the vehicles that we have, our bodies are. Like, it's incredible. So it's cool because with drinking the hydrogen water, and you'll see here now the glass is much less cloudy than it was when I first put the tablet in. So now the hydrogen's dissolving into the water, and that is, I have to make this point, that is the hydrogen that's helping you. It's dissolved into the water, so it's invisible to the naked eye. But when you drink it, you get more energy. When you bathe in it, it's more relaxing. And so, and that, again, it's partially due to the magnesium. They're just bigger tablets. You throw 3 or 4 of those into your bathtub, let those effervesce, just like you do with the tablets in your glass of water to drink. And that will relax you, and it's really cool because it helps so many people. Your skin is your biggest organ. It's also your biggest detoxing organ, and hydrogen, being the small molecular structure that it is, has the ability to permeate through your skin barrier very, very easily. And so for people with MS, fibromyalgia, ALS, muscle issues like that, restless leg syndrome, athletes, and that's actually the coolest thing about hydrogen, is whether you're battling with stage 4 cancer, or you're an elite athlete that wants to take their game to the next level. There's a use with or for hydrogen for every single lifestyle out there. And now with these tablets, with our bottles, with every piece of technology that we have with Tech for Health, we have every single way for you to, at a consumer level, try hydrogen or incorporate hydrogen into your life. It's pretty cool.
It is very cool. And what you guys actually do, so you like pioneers, kind of, you teaching people on how to hydrate, which is the basics, right?
Yeah.
So we teach people how to breathe, which is basics, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the importance of your job is huge. And the more I listen about, the proper hydration, for me, before, proper hydration was because I spent so much time in the hot room. It was always making sure that I get the electrolytes,
Of course.
It wasn't about the quality of the water, right? It wasn't about, anything that, I need to hydrate on a cellular level, because it's not just the hydration. It's also like your body renews your organs every year, and then
Yes.
what is it going to renew out of, right? Like, where is it going to go and source for that? So of course, the water, we are made out of 70% out of water.
Yeah.
So where does it go to reach for all these new resources to build the new organs in our bodies, right? So
Yeah.
it's such a basic how important the water is. And when I was growing up, I was born in Russia. I was growing up in Russia. Drinking water was not something that it was very cool. It was drink juice. And then after communism collapsed, we got Western, Coca-Cola and Fanta and Sprite and all that kind of stuff. That's what we were drinking, right?
Wow.
Who wanted to drink water? Like, there was no education on that. So what you guys doing is so important. And like I said, every day I'm here, I'm still learning and learning more and more and more. And how I feel, I think for me, probably the biggest change was since we installed a Alcaviva at the club, it was number one, it was my gut health. How everything is so healthy and moving smoothly. That was number one. Number two is a long lasting energy. And because we work out like 3-4 hours a day, I don't have muscle aches anymore.
Love that.
I really don't. And number three, what the biggest, one of the biggest that I noticed, my hair growing fast. And I always had my nails and my hair growing really fast, but with the alkaline water, it's like people just keep telling me like your nails, your hair, and I'm noticing it, and I'm like, there's nothing different I'm doing. I am is a consumption of the alkaline water. So
But
And that goes. Sorry, I was
Go
just going to say that goes back to the mitochondria too. They're essential for protein synthesis. So when your mitochondria is working properly, the keratin in your nails is produced better. Your hair, all those things, your skin, because we're essentially protein. People that work out know if you want to build muscle, you need protein. But we need protein just for internal proteins, for enzymes and things that our body makes on a daily basis.
Speaking of working out, that's actually another really cool one that we have added recently is the Boost pre-workout. Now it's a 15 workout supply. You get 15 sticks of that Boost that you pour into the water. Then you mix that up, and then you put 2 hydrogen tablets into the water. And I just finished up today my last serving out of the box, and I can personally say that the pumps that I get at the gym are absolutely incredible. The 200 milligrams of caffeine is enough to get me going as a father of a 5-month-old baby, but not so much that like I'm crashing later and I just don't have to have coffee.
And it tastes amazing. That strawberry kiwi tastes phenomenal.
Yeah, it tastes. And I do believe I would like to try testing out as doing it without like drinking it, trying it without the hydrogen tablets in it, because I've now used hydrogen tablets in other supplements and it modifies the taste in a big way. Like it takes it, if it's like an acidic type of drink, it takes that bite right out of there. It's really, really cool stuff. And so you mentioned about growing up in Russia and how Western culture came in. I growing up, I think, and it's like makes me sick thinking about this, but all I drank was like milk. And I can't even say that without saying it in like a gross milk. Like knowing what's in milk now and thinking, that's all I could really drink. I didn't drink much water at all. and that just wasn't, like you said, it's not appealing. It's like you don't want to drink it. It's like blech. But what I've noticed with my customers that have kids, their kids love water. And so I'm thinking about this, like when you're growing up, understanding the value of good quality water and actually drinking good quality water on a regular basis, like what is this actually going to do for them later on in life?
Yeah.
What things that we're not really going to see because we don't, it's hard to kind of to calculate all of that in a realistic way because we don't want our kids to be science experiments. But like how big of a difference is that actually making in their life later on down the road when it comes to things like something that is now running rampant, like you just mentioned, Louis, Alzheimer's and dementia.
And just think about how you feel when you're dehydrated. You get a headache, you can't focus. If your kids are always slightly dehydrated, maybe not to the extent of a full-blown headache or behavioral issues, but from a cognitive level, if they're in school without proper nutrition or proper hydration, it's going to have an effect. They're not going to reach their maximum potential. And my little 3-year-old daughter now knows, like, I need to drink water. I asked her yesterday, I'm like, how come you're drinking water? She said, because I like it. I said, well, and why do we drink water? And she goes, it's healthy for you. So she already knows that hydrogen is good. When she sees this bottle come out, she wants to come and have some. And I've even done it with my pets. I had put a bottle of tap water or a bowl of tap water and a small bowl with hydrogen water. And I don't know if it's because it's filtered better, because I'm using a machine to make this water rather than tap. Their noses are sensitive. Maybe it's the chlorine, but for whatever reason, they will always choose the hydrogen water over the tap water. So even your pets know the difference.
Well, and another thing for kids, what happens every September when they go to school, they all start getting sick.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, just maybe, that has something to do with dehydration and your body not operating properly from a cellular level out. We're talking about how, Oxana, your skin and your hair and your nails are all looking great from drinking the water. Well, a lot of people will have, there's a lot of people that have issues with eczema and psoriasis, and you'll use like a steroid or hydrocortisone cream or something to treat it externally. But I'm telling you that issue is actually coming from something internally, an imbalance somewhere. And because I can say this from personal experience, as I used to have really bad psoriasis on my scalp until I started drinking hydrogen rich alkaline water. And then, that's one of the cool things about the Alkaviva machines is you can also use the acidic water to treat the eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, acne, and pimples topically. But drinking the water is really what's going to help you come to a solution to that problem. Now, we mentioned animals quickly. I right away, as soon as I hear animals now, I think about our Tech Pro 900 because we have a really, really cool new attachment.
Yes, we are officially the first hydrogen inhalation and drinking water system that is pet compatible. This machine now can be adapted not only for adults, children, but we sell it with a small and a medium size mask. Now, there will be a training process. You're going to have to get your dog used to it. I will make a video of me training my dog slowly but slowly. It starts with treats, holding the mask on their nose for 5 seconds, give them a treat, then 10 seconds. Then eventually it turns into the mask stays on with the strap for a minute or two, treats, praise. Within a week or two, you now have your dog able to sit there and wear the mask. Again, it is dosed for the animal correctly, so they get the proper dose. They only need about 5 minutes because they're a much smaller animal, and any land-faring animal that breathes oxygen can benefit from hydrogen because it does the same thing in their bodies. So not only can you prevent, especially dogs with breathing issues like French bulldogs or pugs, they have a lot of inflammation in their sinuses and their lungs, and our inhalation machine is also very good for people with like asthma, COPD, emphysema, because it removes that inflammation from their lungs. So not only could this prolong the life of your pet, it could give them a happier and healthier existence for the time that we have.
Just so you're getting a little bit of feedback with your mic. I'm not sure if you know that. Right. Or
you should be good to go now. I've turned you guys down.
Okay, I think we're good. And then also, it was actually kind of neat because the day that we figured this, we solidified getting these masks in was the same day that I sold a Tech Pro 900 to two different people that had 14 and 15-year-old Pomeranians that both have alopecia, which is a very common issue with Pomeranians. So really excited to see how or if more like how that helps. And like that's the really cool thing about the Tech Pro 900 is being able to bubble the hydrogen into your water to drink or to bathe in. So when you have that, as long as you have proper filtration already, then you can you can bathe your dog in it and you have them drinking it. And then now because of the mask, you can have them breathing it in. It's so cool that we have all these different modalities and ways to not only help us, but help our furry family, which I mean, I think a lot of people like their dogs more than they like other people.
So what do they say? If you lock your best friend in the trunk of a car and you lock your dog in the trunk of the car, which one is happy to see you when you let them out? That's how you know who your best friend is.
That's a good one.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's incredible. No, it's absolutely, it's a life-changing, that's for sure. I have I have my clients here, and when they're not taking any classes, when they're not coming to any services, they drive by, they just, quickly park. We have a very easy access off the road. They run in, wave at the front desk, and they're like, "Hi, I'm just going to get a water here." And they go, they fill up their water bottles, and then off they go, right? So that's kind of what we do here. It's like a family life, but that definitely was a game changer for a lot of us. And I had a couple volunteers at the front desk who moved on with the different adventures in their life, and they all mentioned to me, they said, "I'm not going to be drinking alkaline water now. How am I supposed to live?"
So speaking, you said, that's what we do here. What do you do at Sea to Sky Wellness Club? I want to help promote everything that you do. I know what you do, but I want you to explain to our listeners and viewers what you do, because you have some really cool, it's a great place.
Thank you. Well, I think, for us, it's a totally new business model, right? The whole idea is not just to focus on the physical aspect, but to go, whoever comes in with any issues, the goal is here always, the way how we look at it, our vision is to go for the cause of the problem, not the symptoms, right? Because our medical system is not really going for the cause of the issue. It's going for the symptoms, right?
There's no
Oh, you're
money
not
in the
sleeping
cure.
well? Oh, let's give you some antidepressant pills, right?
Mhm.
Oh, like this is kind of the stuff, right? So for us, it's like when you guys educating people on proper hydration and what huge impact it has on the physical body. For us, it's like, okay, can we teach you how to breathe, right? That's, okay, you have a physical ache. Well, most likely it's a stagnant energy in your body. How can we move that energy, right? And the way how we look at the issues, we don't just treat the symptoms. So we try to go and target the cause. And what we do, my business idea was how it was born. It was just to look at a 360-degree angle and see, can we target something from all the angles at the same time. So the way how we put our services, we have a group classes, which is the yoga and fitness classes. We have spin. We're about 6,000 square feet building, with the showers, with a lot of different stuff going on here. So we offer group classes, but then on top of the group classes, we also offer holistic services that any individual can just book as an appointment. So we have acupuncture, we have things like Reiki, energy healing, massages, we have Ayurvedic services. We have sound bath healing. We have a hot cold plunge, which is very, very popular. One of our top services, selling services. Then we also have a hypnotherapy. We have energy. I did say energy healing, like family constellations, right? A lot of people don't even know what the family constellations are. And I say, well, that's when you heal 7 generations forward and 7 generations back. It's a healing and generational trauma. So we educate people. We have a huge programs for educating people on psychedelics and what psychedelics do. Microdosing. What does microdosing does, right? Because we've been all told and conditioned that this is a drug. Well, I used to believe in that too. I was one of them. No, touching it is a drug. I was conditioned until I started doing my own research, until I experienced, and now I'm watching all this magic unfolds, right? When we educate people, like you guys do the same thing, right? When we educate on that and then we start seeing the results. So that's kind of what we do here. And then I took it a little bit to the next level. So now we have a wellness packages, and what those wellness packages do. So depends really. The most popular is get in shape, is detox, and then stress and anxiety management. So those are probably our top sellers. Okay. And what we do, we have different services, different packages. So for example, in a detox program, it's a 3 months program. We have, unlimited group access to the unlimited group and fitness classes. And then we also have a program built, customized to each client. So we have nutritionists working there. We have counselors, because, getting in shape, people coming in, we opened up, just about 2 years ago. It was after COVID. People had 2 issues. They said, I am so full of anxiety and fear. And number 2, I gained a lot of weight, right? So, well, I always said diets don't work because diet is a short-term goal. How can we change your habits? How can we change your mindset so we can actually create the long-lasting habits that actually will be much better in the long run for you, right? So like counseling sessions, right? Important for that. Coaching sessions, life coaching sessions are important for that. So in those packages, we have 5-6 different therapists working with one person. And that person goes, from one therapist to another therapist, comes in for the yoga fitness classes, and we monitor that person for 3 months. So
that's amazing.
That's kind of what we do. And now with alkaline water, things just got even better.
Yeah, more. I gotta say, hydrogen water is really the one that I really want people to go towards. So no offense, had to step in there and edit that. But the alkaline water ionizer that you have in there has hydrogen in it, and which is a good maintenance amount of hydrogen. And now with these tablets, the bottles, Tech Pro 900, we're able to really crank that right up. And I love working with you and businesses like you. You know, I love that you're talking about things like psychedelics and you know, like a little bit of a almost taboo, because you're right. It's been we've perceived it as a drug, and it's been treated like a drug. It's class 1 for however long. But it, you know, that sugar's a drug too. So is caffeine. So is alcohol. You know,
I think alcohol is the biggest drug out of all of them.
100%. It's the only drug that you have to explain why you're not drinking it when you don't drink it. You go to a function and then it's like, oh, I'm not drinking. It's like, oh, what? Why? You have a problem? Like, what are you okay? You know, but fortunately, the age that we live in, the mocktails are becoming more and more prevalent, and that is exciting for me because I don't drink unless I'm in Mexico on vacation. But I, you know, it is it's really cool to see the shift that's been happening, and I think a big part of that is due to people going through the steps and healing the trauma. I love the family trauma. Seven ahead and 7 back. You know, that we store up to 14 generations of trauma in our fascia, and that's where the movement and breath work, and that's where you work so well with Human Garage and IQA, and we work well with Human Garage, and it's all the community is all really coming together in the most beautiful way. We're all connecting, kind of like how the mycelium connects, if you will, you know.
Big network.
On the psilocybin talk.
And let me just interject there, Shane, because there is science behind that. If anybody's watching right now going like, oh yeah, trauma, blah, blah, blah. If you study epigenetics, epigenetics are factors that happen when you're in uterine or when your children have kids. In fact, if your wife or partner gives birth to a female, not only her, but all of her eggs all experience the same trauma from birth. So you have generations before that were affected that will affect current and future generations as well. So it's not just about eating right, healthy exercise. It's your stress level. It's your state of mental health. It's the things that happen to the child even before it is a full-born infant. And there's generational trauma that comes from that. So if you're a science-minded person and you think a lot of this is just kind of talk, go and do the research because it is scientifically backed. And also, I want to make a point on aging. Aging and beauty is a huge industry. People spend tens of thousands of dollars on treatments and creams and all this stuff topically to deal with aging. Aging actually starts inside first, and the way you look is a result of your inside. If you're full of oxidative stress, your skin, and you'll see it. People that live a rough life, lots of drinking and partying, when they're 40, you can see it. It shows in their skin. They look 10 years older because of what these things are called AGE. So AGE is actually an acronym for advanced glycation end products. Basically, the byproducts of a poor lifestyle and toxins lead to aging. So the best anti-aging you can have is good hydration, good food, good mineral intake in your body, and definitely hydrogen water. So aging starts from the inside. Doesn't matter how many fancy creams you buy. If you're inherently sick, it's not going to work as well as just dealing, like Oxana said, deal with the root problem. Don't put the topical cream thinking that's going to be the miracle. And plastic surgery is basically a Band-Aid as well, because you're not addressing the root problem.
Yeah. Well, you know, speaking about aging, right? I just turned 45 and I have two teenagers. You know, they are almost 20 and 18. Youngest one is graduating this year. And every time I was the boys, you know, people don't believe me that I'm their mom. And I do not use any single cream on my face. Zero. Absolutely none. The only thing that sometimes I apply to my skin is organic coconut oil, and that's it. That's it.
Wow.
So I detoxify through infrared heaters by doing a hot yoga, always making sure the blood's circulating, right? So making sure that I get a good sleep, my meditation, my diet, my hydration, and also my surroundings. Who am I surrounded with, right?
Yeah.
So being very, very mindful about people in my life as well. So those things, like you said, everything comes from the internal, and it's just going to be a reflection on the external. So
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely. It's
And the people around you are important too, because they say stress kills. It's not only the internal stress, but it's the external stress from people in your life. Like you've
Energy.
seen people that maybe had a lot of trauma or a lot of bad things happen. They show signs of advanced aging. They look older, and we think, wow, they've been through a lot, and it shows. So that, that is very important point. It's not only what you're doing, it's who are you surrounding yourself with?
Yep.
What is your
And
mental pattern like?
and the mindset that you keep, it's funny how negatively programmed many people don't realize that we are, and I'll use this as an example, because if I were to, I say, I want to go on vacation, okay, I got a 5-month-old. I want to go on vacation with my 5-month-old. What if? Immediately your brain goes to what if negative, and usually the most like ridiculous negative made up scenario that you can come up with. But what happens is you actually feel that in your body, and your cells actually create that scenario. And this happens when you hang on to things from your past. You bring these things forward, and when you think about them, it's actually re-happening in the exact same way in your body. It's a trauma addiction that your body responds to. And so it's important to one, understand that, and to be okay with it, because that's all part of the human experience that we are having. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and it's using breath work as your medicine, movement as your medicine, laughter, good music, good water, clean food, good friends, good
Spend time
conversation.
in nature.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Good community.
Yeah.
Good collaboration. And that's what I love about working with you, is where, 2025, it's 100% the year of hydrogen. This is the year that hydrogen really takes the market the way it's supposed to be. But it's also the year of collaboration, and I think that there's a lot that's nobody here is interested in competing. There's enough success in the world for all of us, and I believe that the more that we work together with the collective goal of just making our individual lives better, we as a collective grow, and we all evolve and achieve what we're supposed to achieve while we're here.
Very good point.
Yeah, I wanna add something about the mind. So the thing is that, so I don't know if you guys ever heard about Vipassana, but I do my Vipassana silent meditations on an annual basis, and it's something there where we go and you study the mind. It's a Buddhist studies. It's about just no suffering, kind of. And the thing is, I think our biggest enemy and our biggest friend is our mind. We just don't know enough. Understanding or enough even time to understand how our mind works. And the mind is really designed, because we are so many, what is it, 87%, I believe, we are monkeys, in the DNA. So it's the same as, the monkeys, right? So we don't look how our brain works, how our mind works. And our mind is designed to keep us safe. So it's that, the nervous system kicks in, flight and fight mode kicks in to keep us safe. So, but if you look at it from the spiritual realm, is our mind is there to create, but it's also by natural, by giving it to us by the nature, so we can survive as the species. So now you have this mind, that wants to create, and then mind that always constantly in a flight or fight mode, searching for danger, and the thing is that, the surroundings developed and evolved over the years, but our understanding about our own minds did not. So it's still, in that run, fight or fight mode. And when you say like, oh, it creates fears, right? Because it's made to protect us.
Mhm.
But we don't understand that this protection is not so much necessary anymore. We don't live in a
The protection is also a limitation.
Exactly. So, and our instincts are so high and they are so deeply plugged into us that if I need to be survive, I will like the instinct will kick in. But most of the time, those instincts kick in when we don't need them,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
And the duration of the threat is different. 40,000 years ago, we
exactly,
encounter an animal in the woods. You're going to fight it or you're going to run. But
exactly,
within 5 or 10 minutes, that threat is going to neutralize. You're either going to get eaten or you're going to
Yeah.
get away.
exactly.
Now we have these constant fears that don't go
Yeah.
away. How am I going to pay the mortgage? What if we lose our job? Price of food. You have a million things that happen. So that fight or flight doesn't switch off.
Yeah.
You then begin ruminating, which is constantly thinking about these things, and you can't turn off.
Yeah.
And it basically gets to a point, like Shane said, where we get in this negative cycle, not even knowing. We catastrophize things where we don't just think, well, what could go wrong? It's the worst possible scenario that will likely never happen. But we don't just think we might lose our job. It's I might lose my job, then I lose my house. How am I going to feed my kids? Oh my
And
God.
next thing you're homeless and you're,
Yeah, we create this whole narrative that may never even come true, and then
you're
we
having a
ruminate on
freaking
it.
panic attack, a real live physical panic attack because you've done it. But what if you switch it around?
Yeah.
What if you?
But that's the most difficult part for lots of people.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no tools. How do we do that, right? And it becomes default set, the default mode for most of us, right? We live in those cycles all the time.
You have to be very, very, very present and conscious of your thoughts to be able to turn that around. And you also have to be very, very patient, because you got to understand you're undoing a lifetime of programming your mind to think in the worst possible case scenarios, because our whole lives essentially we've been distracted from dealing with these things, while also damaging our bodies in so many other ways, with the foods that we eat, the drinks that we drink, the air that we breathe, the technology that we consume or get consumed in. And I'm not saying technology is a bad thing. Technology is a great thing. It's like money. It all depends on how you use it. It's a tool, but we end up letting these tools use us as opposed to being the person using the tool.
Well, I think it's really, it comes down to every individual, and instead of and I hear this all the time, right? Well, our system doesn't support us, our society doesn't support us. It's at some point we all kind of have to stop blaming one another and then just take our responsibilities for our growth, for our health, and if you want to grow, you will find a way how to do it, or otherwise you'll just find excuses, right? And it's really important that we start, and I'm noticing this, this is like the great awakening is happening. I'm watching this, and it's a really exciting times right now to be alive.
I couldn't agree more.
The frequencies are rising, and people getting more awakening, people understanding, more and more people understanding that like taking care of their mind and mental health is important, their food, their diet, and then going back into the nature, going back to basics. I'm seeing a lot of shift right now, people quitting their corporate jobs and they're going into the small businesses. Although it's not easy, I'm a small business owner, and oh my gosh, I'm not sure. I have a mixed feelings about that. But I always say,
a different
there's
breed,
no way
Oxana.
I can ever work for someone else, because one thing that will stop me from working for someone else is that I am not at my fullest potential. That's going to kill me. I worked for someone, and every time I came up with the new ideas, I was shut down. And I'm not at the fullest potential. Where here I can create as much as I want. Nobody's gonna stop me. And if it didn't work, at least I tried, right? But I'm watching the shift.
It's about patterns too, though. As people have been eating poorly for years, thinking poorly for years, they've had all these habits. It's going to take some time to break, and it's not easy.
That's
Your
what
body,
I mean, right?
Yeah, your body gets used to doing what it's always done. And, you mentioned Buddhism earlier. I find it fascinating too. But essentially, the belief is that the only reason we suffer is because we want for things. So we create all these false ideas of, I'm going to have this and I want to have the mansion and the Lamborghini. And then if it doesn't happen, we suffer. But we created that illusion in the first place. And now it wasn't realistic. And now we feel like we've lost something. It was never there anyway. It's just that buildup, and our brain is very good.
In the now. We don't live in the now. We either in the past or in the future.
We're
never present.
We're human doings, not human beings.
Exactly.
We're too busy doing what we're told to do. We're doing our job because you need to do it to survive. And you're doing this and doing that. And you never take the opportunity to actually just be in the moment. And that's when the magic really happens. That's when you create, and that's when you can take those feelings that you would normally be super negative about and imagining the worst case scenario and turn it into something good. Imagine the best case scenario. What if the best case happened, not the worst case? And again, like you said, Louis, it's ages of this happening, this generational trauma, like we were talking about earlier. It's not going to get undone overnight. This isn't quick fix stuff. But the more you get back to basics, the more you go within and you focus on what really matters, the more you start getting to the root causes of the symptoms that you're having, when it comes to like depression and anxiety and stuff. You start being able to deal with those in a very conscious manner, and having people like yourself, Oxana, running the wellness club. I know as an entrepreneur, it's not easy, especially nowadays. But the most successful people in the world take the hardest paths, because the best lives are the most, the most have some of the biggest struggles ahead of them. And it's just like we're pioneers or early adopters, at least in the hydrogen world. You are a pioneer or early adopter in the healing modalities, and providing a hub for people to come to and heal in many different ways, because as we mentioned earlier, there's way more than just your physical body. There's mental, spiritual, energetic, etheric, all of those need to be in line for your body for your life to start going the way that you want it to go. So,
and you have a choice. That's a big thing. We have a choice. People choose a better lifestyle. People choose to get in better shape. People choose cleaner water. And a lot of people are kind of stuck in the rut of, I hate my job. Well, how much time are you going to allow that to rob from your life? How many hours a week are you working doing something you hate? But how many hours a week are you actively planning on doing something different? Like, how much time do we apportion on changing it? We're very quick to complain.
What are you doing to fix the solution?
You got to find a solution, or, the last 20 years you hated, how is the next 20 years going to be any different unless you become that change you want to see? And I know it sounds simplistic, and everybody has different situation. And, I feel bad for people that have physical disabilities because they physically cannot do some things. But for the rest of us that are able-bodied and able-minded, it really just comes down to, how bad do you want it? How sick of this are you? And how excited are you to try something different? And don't let fear hold you back. Like Shane said, why not envision the best case? Because we manifest. So if you envision the worst case, you're probably going to get that, because you you made that happen. You only saw the negative outlooks, and that's all the universe presented you with. So be kind to yourself, give yourself that fair credit that you deserve to be happy. And you have the tools and the ability. Reach out to good people like yourself, and, start with a yoga class and go from there. You won't know what's going to work with you best until you try a little bit of everything. So try a little bit of everything, even if that means microdosing psilocybin and getting some neurogenesis. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So remove the bias, remove some of that stuff that's been ingrained in us since we were kids.
Yes.
Family values, religious values, political values. A lot of that is just crap somebody else made up and is in your mind. Make your own choice and
how does
let
that
the
feel
healing.
internally? Well, how does that feel to you? Start asking yourself these questions. And you know, you're right. There are people that have legitimate reasons for not being able to do certain things, but there's a lot more, I would say, people that have excuses. And ask yourself, you know, if you're listening to this and then this kind of strikes a chord with you, ask yourself, you know, am I making excuses or do I have a legitimate reason? You know, and a lot of times you probably just making excuses, and that's okay. We're but mere humans. We make mistakes. We make excuses, but you know, you gotta at a certain point take, like we said, responsibility. Don't blame yourself either. Don't blame yourself. There's no help or positive outcome in blaming yourself. That makes zero difference. That makes no difference on the outcome. Don't blame others. Don't blame yourself. Just understand that everything does happen for a reason, and figure out the best way to react to everything that's happening to you. It's not what happens to you; it's how you react to it. And you know, the most successful people in the world, it has little to do with your bank account. It's the people that know how to and are able to react properly, because their nervous systems aren't shot, because they've done the healing via movement and hydration and you know, all the other different really cool modalities that are coming out to help us heal. Like I said, the reason that we are here. We're getting pretty close to time.
Yeah. There's
before we go, Oxana, tell us where people can learn more about you and where they can find your wellness club.
Yes, of course. So we are located in downtown New West, right across the Cloumbia train station. You know, ground floor, there's a lot of parking around us. We offer all kind of services. Check us out on the www.skywellness.com. You're very welcome to follow us on Instagram. So it's a C2 Sky Wellness Club. You're very welcome to follow me. You know, I specify my certifications right now, and my latest passion is psychedelics and education on psychedelics. So I am certified psychedelic assisted therapist. So you can follow me on my personal, which is Oneness Wellness Retreats. So we're also planning, you know, amazing retreats. We just came back from Mexico, where we did psychedelic retreats, life-changing retreats. So next one is in Costa Rica. So please, you know, follow us on Instagram and come and check us out. You know, we've been only in business since 2023, but we got already 3 years in a row consecutively as the best business in Canada by Canadian Business Bureau. So 23, 24, and 25. Yes. And
good for you.
Thank you. And I don't want to brag about it. Usually I don't, you know, I'm very humble, but I was just announced as the top 30 most inspiring women to look for in 2025 by a New York Journal.
Wow.
So, NYC Journal. So yes, you know, obviously I'm doing something, you know, that is noticeable. So, and I'm, you know, I'm proud of it. You know,
that's incredible. Good for you.
So, yeah, it was amazing team, you know, amazing team and amazing energy here. So we very, you know, it's hard, like I say, you know, being entrepreneur and running a small business, especially right now in those times, it's very hard, but it's very, very rewarding, and it's so fulfilling. So when I have a client coming to me and saying how much I changed his life and how much my team changed that person's life, this is it. I know that my job is done.
Yep. That's all you need.
Well, congrats on all of that. And for anybody watching who wants information on some of the products we sell, you can check us out at tech4health.ca. That's tech, the number 4, health.ca. And if you want to save a bit of money, you can use discount code WaterGuys10 for the Water Guys podcast, and that'll save you 10%. As well, you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments, if any of this that we discussed jived with you, let us know. Drop us a comment. We love hearing from you. And if you just have questions in general, which most of our clients do, that's what we are here for. We are not just an online business where you buy products and never hear from anybody. We are readily available. Clients text me at 10:30. I text them back if I'm up, right? We're that kind of business, hands-on. And we want to be your consultant. We don't want to sell you anything. We just want to give you the information and essentially the products sell themselves. So,
and
proud
then
to
yeah,
share
when
this
we
with,
do when
with you
we do sell you a product, we do have 100% the best products to bring you hydrogen in every way possible at a consumer level. But none of that means anything unless you have the proper customer service and support to back that up. And that's why we take that very, very seriously. And I know, Oxana, you're the same way, and we love working with you and your clients. I feel like we have something. Is there something you're doing next Saturday on the 18th? I feel like
Yes, you're going to be in our club. Yes.
So next Saturday on January 18th, after your 9 o'clock class, which is from 9 to 10, we will be there for a couple hours to show you the products that we have. We will have some products on hand for you to take home with you, some deals to sweeten the deal for you. And yeah, so meet us there on January 18th from 10 till about 12 o'clock at the C2 Sky Wellness Club in New Westminster. Looking forward to that very much. I love doing the events there with you. The community that you have there is it's very much aligned with the type of people that we love working with. So yeah, that's all I got.
And can I add something? If anybody will come from the podcast, and if you guys would like to come in and take a 9 a.m. hot yoga class with me, I usually teach that time. I'm going to give you a free class on the club. So come in, just bring your clothes to change. We have showers and towels and everything. Do your 9 a.m. class on us, and then you can go right into the educating yourself about the water.
Yeah, and we'll bring some products by too. We'll bring our Alcaviva Vesta ionizer. We will bring our Tech Pro 900 4-in-1 system. We'll bring the bottles, shower filters. If you don't have one of these, you need a shower filter at minimum.
I'm sorry, but this is just ridiculous. The shower
this is the best $100 you ever spent in your life. I promise you. And we got a brand new product too, which is this bad boy right here, which we will be explaining as well, essentially combining the best of highest level filtration, hydrogen production, and minerals. We'll explain in detail, but more than anything, we're excited to see you all. That's in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada, in case you guys are watching in the US. There are some new Wests in parts of the US, I believe, as well. But we're talking Canada here. Next Saturday, January the 18th, we will be at Sea to Sky Wellness Club at 10 a.m. So check us out. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Oxana. Thank you, Shane.
Over.
Yeah, and we'd love to do it again. And we'd love to see everybody on the next show. So until then, take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks.